Interested in getting tickets to a concert or sporting event? Use SeatGeek and get $20 off on your next purchase with promo code OBERSPORTS. That's OBERSPORTS, OBERSPORTS. What's going on, guys? Jacob Ober here, coming to you with some more Packers news on this Wednesday afternoon. The Packers have been active in free agency today. They have signed pass rusher Whitney Mercilus, formerly a Houston Texan, to their team. I'm not exactly sure the details of the contract, but I think it would be reasonable to assume it is something similar to what Jalen Smith got a couple weeks ago. This signing by the Packers, Whitney Mercilus, he's a guy who has been in the league for 9 years. He has been largely productive for the Houston Texans in his time there. He has 57 career sacks, 115 quarterback hits, and this season he has 3 sacks on the year. I'm not exactly sure what the analytics say about him, though. I'm not exactly sure, what Pro Football Focus might have to say, but the 3 sacks, that's definitely encouraging. Of course, sacks rarely tell the entire picture, but it can be reasonable to assume that he's gotten pressure on the quarterback, at least somewhat, considering that he has 3 sacks, and that would be tied for first on the team for the Packers right now with Kenny Clark. So the Packers' pass rush has been no secret that they've struggled this year, and not having guys in the secondary like Jair Alexander and Kevin King, not having that pass rush is definitely something that has hindered them a lot. Even though the defense has largely been pretty solid this season, it's definitely an area of concern still, the Packers not being able to get consistent pressure on the quarterback. And of course, without Zadarius Smith and with Preston Smith injured on and off again this season, pass rush has definitely been a thin area for the Packers defense. So adding Whitney Mercilus is an encouraging sign for the Packers that they're willing to go out and make moves like this. We saw what they did a couple weeks ago with Jalen Smith, signing him. Now that they add another linebacker, a guy whose main focus is pass rush, it's encouraging to see for sure. And, this is kind of a different philosophy from the Packers front office that we really haven't seen in recent years. There have been years where the Packers have signed free agents, but they haven't really been impactful guys or guys that are like, they just get cut and everyone's kind of like scrambling to try and get him, and the Packers end up with him. They're under the radar guys that the Packers have signed, like Tavon Austin last year, Snacks Harrison last year. Neither of those guys really got much time to play with Green Bay, and they really didn't have much of an impact when they did play. And then, of course, I think it was 2 years ago, they signed Tyler Ervin, and that one was actually a pretty good signing under the radar for the Packers because he provides stability to their punt return game. But outside of those 3, it's really hard to, pinpoint any other free agents that the Packers have signed mid-season, especially, ones that have been seen as guys who could make an impact on the team. So for the Packers to go out and sign Whitney Mercilus, a guy who's a 9-year veteran, a guy who's had some successful seasons in his NFL career, that's pretty big for the Packers. And, like I said, I don't know exactly what the analytics say on him, but he does have 3 sacks this season, and that, to me, indicates that he's at least somewhat been able to get pressure on the quarterback. And I'll take what I can get as a Packers fan because the Packers' pass rush has really not been very good this season without Zadarius and without Preston. And, of course, like I said, the Packers' secondary is also very thin, and not having a good pass rush to try and balance that out and take some pressure off of that secondary is definitely a concerning thing. And by the way, I didn't mention this earlier, but they actually did make one other signing this year that had an impact on last week's game against Chicago, Rasul Douglas. They brought him in as a cornerback to replace Isaac Iadom, who had an awful first series in Chicago, and Rasul Douglas actually held his own and played pretty well and definitely helped the Packers win that game against Chicago. So I do want to point out that the Packers did also make a signing last week, or the week before, along with the Jalen Smith signing. So the Packers have been pretty aggressive in, in-season free agent signings, and that's definitely a different approach for this front office. And I wonder if that has anything to do with this past offseason with the Aaron Rodgers stuff, and him, criticizing the front office and their philosophy and their Packer way, that we've kind of been through for a long time, and the organizational philosophy of, draft and develop. Maybe it's a sign that the Packers know that this is the last season with Devontae and with Rodgers, or maybe it's a sign that they're trying to change their ways for both of those guys and potentially keeping them on board for multiple more seasons. I hope it's the latter, but, I'm not exactly sure, but either way, this is good news for the Packers, and it's definitely something that I am excited to see for Green Bay, and I hope that Mercilus can have a good impact in the Packers' pass rush game, because it's really been lacking, and it's definitely an area that I would like to see improved, and it's definitely an area that's going to need to improve if they want to have a chance at winning a Super Bowl this year. So anyways, guys, so that's all I got to say in this video. I'm excited about this signing, and I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time. Go Pack, go.